system and security or system and user security on the Linux systems, how they are being handled in our Ubuntu operating system. So I will do the full screen and I am logged in with sysadmin as a user. Now I will type the command su. So it will ask the password for what this su command do. It will help us to switch from sysadmin user to the root user. So I will type the password to get into the my root privileges. Okay, see you can see now I am at the root account. Now root localhost. Okay, so root privileges I have got means I am on the administrator level like we do in Windows and system admin. Suppose I have to open any kind of program, so I will do it by command line run as an administrator. So the same way in Linux, it is done by root images privileges. Now I will create an identity by using the ID command. Okay. So when I am at the root, so what I will do, I will write this command as ID. Okay. So see, here we find there are number of groups, user ID and GID, group ID. Okay. So this is the basic steps of the system and the command line interface on root privileges account. Now I will exit from here. Let type the exit command. So they have been logged out from the original shell. Now we can type it as ID command. Okay. So ID will let us know that from exiting from the shell as root, it would damage the system. That's the reason we would exit it from the root shell, and now we have entered to sysadmin role. Okay. So without disturbing any kind of account privileges, we are easily defining those exiting from the root account and easily get into the user sysadmin account. In the next step, we can see, as we have discussed, that sudo command works on systems that do not allow root access by default. Okay, so it is mainly preferred for the administrative task since the root access time out automatically without having to exit. So suppose now we would type a command as a sysadmin user being a non-privileged user. So this is sysadmin, which is a non-privileged user other than the root account which we have. So I will clear the screen to have it clear and type this command. Let's say head and etc shadow. Now let's see what happens. So it could not open this shadow command because there is a permission denied issue on the sysadmin level on the this user account. Okay, so the root user can only display this file. That the simple meaning of this line. Now, when I would type this again command, the sudo command means now I got into the privileges of I have to switch the user. So in order to gather the permissions on the root account, so I will again type the sudo command. It will ask me the password. So I will type the lab password, netlab123, and see. There is some mistake in the password we have done. Let's see. We will do the full screen. So netlab123. Okay, great. So we have the permissions for the root account, and you can see that the etc shadow command displayed, and we got the details of the permissions. So these are the list of files. Bin sys folder is there. So the system will prompt the current username, not the root password. So now we can see that the sysadmin user have the privileges through root account to get into the systems. Now, by default, on many Ubuntu systems, sudo commands entered after first sudo command will be executed as root. Okay, without being prompted password for 15 minutes. So this is the case which we have to remember. Like in sudo commands, will be entered under the root privileges without being prompted for the next 15 minutes. Okay, so there is a timeline of 15 minutes under which we can gather the information from the root accounts. Now we'll learn about the user accounts, okay, and how the files and how display user account information. So the same command will go, which is head etc, then pass wd. Okay, so what it will reflect, it will gather the information about the first 10 lines of the password file, like the home directory, the login shell. Okay, it has all the details information about the encrypted files of the about the sysadmin user account. Now, if we go ahead to gather the step two part, we will see that we have to check the root account or view the record of our sysadmin account. So, what the command we will type? We will type this command grep. So, by grep command, it will include only the account information for that particular username. So, what is in our current case the username? So, I will toggle the full screen and let's see. Okay, I will clear the screen. It's been slow. Okay, let's do. Suppose I will reset the my operating system, the Ubuntu operating system I have rebooted. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's rebooting, so we have to wait for it. Okay, great. So now we are back again, and I have typed the clear screen command. Okay, welcome to Ubuntu Linux operating system. That's the distro of 4.1 LTS. So I will type this command since I am a sysadmin user. So I will do grep and I will paste this command. So the same output you will get under this point, and I will find it under sysadmin user. Okay, so let's see. So under this, we have gathered the information for the system administrator, home accounts, and we have the one user for that. Similarly, the etc shadow password, the shadow file, we depicts about the user's password. Now we will let you know how the three lines we have to display for reading the permissions, for gathering the permissions. See, as we in the step first, we can see that we are trying to gather information from sysadmin file. Let's go ahead to check this command etc shadow. Okay, so see, we will get the permission denied issues for the user account. So who can display this information? So user account for the SU user, or we have to type SU command, then we can enter into a root shell and then we can get the information. Or also if we want to gather the permissions, like what permissions are there, so we will check this command and we'll find out, list out those permissions. So we'll use the ls command to list out the permissions on the uh, sysadmin user. Let's see. So I will type this command ls hyphen l tc shadow. Okay, so see, we it describes that there is a root user account which is responsible for gathering the information into shadow file. Okay, so root user can only view any file. This is due to the fact that root account have special privileges, means that can transcend regular file permissions. So that is a very important point we have to note here, that only root user can use these permissions, not a sysadmin user. When we have tried with this, so we got the error of permission denied. So let's go ahead with the root account privileges. So I will do as we have mentioned the previously also. We have to use the sudo command for gathering the for or switching it from the root admin user from the sysadmin user to the root account privileges. So let's gather this information. Okay, great. So it will asking the password for the sysadmin account. I will type netlab123. Okay, great. So here we'll get the information of the encrypted form. So see the password you provided for your sysadmin account, not the root account. So once sudo has been configured for your account, you don't need to know the root password to run the sudo commands as the root user. So it means that the password which you provided for the sysadmin account, that is not for the root account. Means once sudo has been configured, then we do not need to provide the root admin password. We can directly continue with the password of the root user only. Okay. So now step 4, what we will see here. Now another way to retrieve the account information for a user is by running this command, getend command. Now this getend command has the advantage over grep command that we can also access the user accounts that are not defined locally. So, what is the use of get command? Means gtent command. It's used to get the user information for users. So, on the Active Directory level, we can get the information on the Windows domain or Active Directory domain services. As you get in Windows, we can get the information from ADSA edit.msc if there is an Active Directory server configured. So, in the same way, we can gather this information by gtent. So let's paste this command here. Okay. So it got the information about the sysadmin account on the Linux OS with the sysadmin user. Now we will do the breakdown of these fields. Let's say suppose in this field, after getting this command sysadmin underscore this would be the name, and what is the password, or we can say the placeholder, which is x, and what is the user id, so 1001, and the primary group id, that is also 1001. Now what is the comment here, system administrator, and these are the home directory, which is home sysbin sysadmin. And what is the shell? It's which shell we are belonging. So in the bin file. So in the same way which we do in Windows system, there is a bin folder for the Windows devices. So in the same way, that can be considered in the our Linux platform. Now we will see the man command to have the documentation of fields what we have in the password file. Okay. So, while doing a man page, we need to know that enter to move forward lines or spacebar by page and Q to exit. So this will type the command man 5 and pass WD. Okay. So see, here we gather the information of the file formats and the password permissions. The password file, which is contains for use one user account, which is delimited by star field. So we would come to know these are the parametric field which are needed for the gathering the file formats or the password which is required for getting any user permissions. Now step 6, we will go with the id root command which we have done before. So this is the command line. Let's see if we have done this ID command. We'll press. Then what are the user identity we have? This is the user identity in this, and this is primary group identity. What are groups belong to it? So that would be coming into this file. The last one, which we have defined it here. Okay. In the same way, we can user account also belongs to three, only belongs to three groups. So that we have to mention that this is the format of entries in the etc group file for each line: group name, then password, then group identity id, and the user list. Okay. Now, how we can define who is on the system? So let's say who is logged in into our Linux system. How would come to know? So this is kind of a very important role of security which we will see here. So that's we can see it by who command. Okay. Now here in our operating system terminal, what is showing manual page, password 5 line, press H or help Q to exit. So I will press Q to exit. Okay, now I am coming back to my local shell. I will press the clear the screen command and I will type the who command. Okay, so it will let us know its list of current users on the system. So on 22nd April, who is this current user? Sysadmin. Now it has four columns. Let's navigate. So this is the username, and this is the console on which we are logged in. Who is logged in on the console? Okay, and it's as we have it's self-explanatory that it's date and time also. It's yeah. I know that. So next step we will find the W command. It will help us to detailed view of the users who are currently on your system. So let's see how the it gathers information in our uh, parameter login time, how many users are logged in, and system load averages for the past of 1, 5, and 15 minutes. Okay. So once it is displayed for each user according to the login name, idle time, okay, that is also executed on the current command line. You can see. Now again, the last command is there, which feeds the entire login history for what? For the web or swap file or display all the logins and reboot records by default. So this is the one which we can define here. And next, last, which is command, which is defines the log of users who are logged in and log out for the last time. So we can find it like sysadmin is still logged in, and this begins at this time duration. Okay, so this is the file which we have entered, and we have understand the system in just. Thank you.